Hi, my name is Teva Corwin and I'm a junior at Oakwood. So after the 2016 election, I was in 8th grade. I've grown up in a very, lucky to grow up in a family who's very involved in politics. And I did as many phone calls as I could through Hillary Clinton's website, and I was as involved as I could as an 8th grader. But as many people were completely shocked when she was not elected. I had in my mind that we were going to have the first woman president. Did not happen. So I wish I could have done more. And so for the midterms last year, I galvanized a group of students, and we began doing get out the vote effort. So every weekend, every Sunday from 10 to 12, from September to the election on November 6th, we had a group of students at a bunch of different people's houses. We would write postcards and text bank for a bunch of different candidates all over the country. So it was small elections, it was state senate elections, it was all in the swing states. And I thought this was super important because we cannot vote and we wanted to do things, and I think wanted to make a difference. And something that I learned is like kids they're much more open to being involved in the democratic process when it's their peers that are telling them to do things. So if it's adults saying, hey, get up Sunday morning, you could be lying in bed watching Netflix, but instead come and write postcards, they wouldn't do that. But if it's their friends and their friends are there and it's at their friend's house and they know a bunch of kids, they're more willing to get up and make a change. So we had, over the course of the 2 months, over 100 students from over 20 schools, and it wasn't all at once. There were maybe 20 to 40 kids at each meeting, and it was a super diverse group, which was really important, and we had a bunch of representatives from different high schools. And so we wrote thousands of postcards for different elections and sent tens of thousands of texts. It was amazing. And some of the elections that we campaigned for won, some of them didn't, and I don't think that really matters because it's a lot about getting people out there and learning how to get involved in the democratic process. So I think that no matter what the results were, now people know how to write postcards. People didn't know how to write postcards. That was very interesting. You had to show them where to put the stamp, and you can only write on one side. So that's something to know. So now people know how to write postcards. They know how to text bank and get their friends involved. And we use social media to get out the word, so we had our account, LA Team Get GOTV, and every week we post different, we post where the house was and who we were campaigning for, and so this was a cool way to get out the word. And then people would post on their individual accounts, telling their friends to come. And by the end, we also compiled an email list. I don't know how effective that was. I don't know if people might have checked their emails. But so we found issues and candidates. This was a big part of it. A lot of this, there's a group of adults in my community that are super involved. And before doing this, I would go and write postcards with the adults. And so they always have connections to different candidates in different elections that are going on and different campaigns. So for us, what we would do is we would reach out to them and they would tell us where we should put our energy and give us addresses. But then I reached out and saw where they get them from. So there's a website called Tony the Democrat. This is obviously Democrat-centered, but where you can find different elections, and you can also reach out to campaigns and they'll give you addresses. And then once we started to do this more and more, and even after the midterms, people started reaching out to us with addresses. If they had things they needed to do, they would reach out to us. The Liberty Hill Foundation reached out in April, and we had an event where we wrote letters to our city Congress people to lower the youth incarceration age. So that was really cool and sort of different than what we had been doing, but we got a bunch of kids to come. It was great. And then for the text banking, there's a platform called Open Progress where you can log on at any time, and there are like 5 campaigns that are going on and you can send texts. So it was cool. We were able to learn how to find addresses, issues, and candidates. And there's 2 separate ways you can focus on the candidates or you can focus on the issues, but I think those are both important. we also phone banked, and that's really hard, especially as a teenager, to like actually talk to someone over the phone. So for people who didn't want to do that, they could write postcards, but this was the next step for them. Yeah, that's it. Any questions? You can leave that there if you guys want to follow us, see what's going on.
Did you have, were you setting the general agenda? Were there people that wanted to do one thing? Like, how did you handle different voices?
So the idea originally was mine, but then there would have been a lot if I was doing everything. I sort of got a group of my friends. I have friends at a bunch of different schools, and all these kids came together and we had an original planning meeting where we planned out what we wanted to do, and then as the weeks went on, everybody signed up for a different day where they would host, and so we would all pitch in ideas and who to. It honestly doesn't take much planning. You need postcards and stamps, and then sometimes we have parents come and help us figure out how to text bank or teach us how to do certain things. It's great.
One of the things that all my students are always talking about is maybe doing some sort of a social media thing as part of their, or as the action. Can you say, like, how effective is social media, and what should I tell my students about that want to do that as part of their work?
Yeah, we actually had a club meeting at Oakwood a few weeks ago about the role of social media and social activism. I think it's a very tough thing to battle with, because every single day you're going to see more people who are posting, oh, like, this is happening, but it's not about what you can actually do. I think there's a difference between when you're posting just like issues that are going on, and at first maybe that's important to get people to know about it, but if everyone's doing it, it doesn't really do much. If it's posting like, here's your senator's number, call them, that's one thing, rather than there's a fire in the Amazon, because these are big issues, but just posting for your 500 followers on Instagram that all probably share similar ideas to you. I don't know how much that does, but it's something to wrestle with. Thank you.
What would you tell your 8th grade self to?
That's a really good question. I cared so much about the election, and I felt like I didn't do enough, even though I would like log onto the website and do my little calls. And I think that I would tell my 8th grade self that there's only so much you can do. Like, you can keep doing things, but you can't get in your mind that you haven't done enough. Because even if there's more you could do, everything you do has some sort of impact.
Where do you plan to take it this year or in future?
Yeah, we've continued to have events, not as frequently as we do in the midterms, but there's always elections happening, and there's always different issues that we can call senators or write postcards about. So we've continued to have meetings, and I'm hoping to expand it a little bit more over the next year. So
I want to say thank you, because I often have debates with people who swear that our youth is going to throw us into the tank because they don't care, and I know that to not be true, and you're just proof that the youth does care, and I really hope that in your hands you might do better than we did. So it's just thank you for what you're doing and taking the time to make it so important. Thank you.
yeah, I think that if people like me and young people can get their peers to do things, then more people will be engaged. So it's a big step.
Do you feel that there are enough young people like you that when you graduate, this kind of effort is going to stick around?
I'm sure there are. Yeah, there's always people who want to get involved. It's just getting them involved in the first place, and then once you do that, it's easy.